Alright, so today we're going to be going over my Boros maps deck. This is the third version that I've done of this. I've gone through a few iterations. The last version was actually working pretty well, but I wanted to include a version that did justice strike, so we'll just do a quick overview of the deck, and then I'll jump into a constructed event and see how it does in best of ones. It's sort of what the deck is built for. But I am going to be making a sideboard for it for 2 out of 3s, and I hope to stream this deck soon once the internet is better. So here we go. So we got Justice Strikes. Here is the newest inclusion for this deck. I've got Siobhan Fires. This is mainly to fight like mono blue and such. This is part of our win con. And the deck either takes off with a treasure map, an Azor's Gateway, one of these two for an engine. Sometimes it gets both online, but usually it's one or the other that sparks it. And then you win the game through Fight with Fire or a Bane Fire, or just mass tokens with an Immortal Sun. So the new inclusions are 2 Immortal Suns instead of 1. And I took out the Rejuvenation, the 3 mana cost, gain 4, draw 1. Took those out. So we will be a little bit weaker against red in the in regards to life gain, but we have more answers to early game creatures, another good answer to Chain Whirler, and possibly like a combination of like Justice Strike, Siobhan Fire on a Phoenix for 3 mana. Not optimal, but it could work. And the Justice Strikes are mainly there for like big targets that I was noticing against like Golgari, such as Doom Whispers and whatnot. So yeah, and just a lot of sweepers with Deafening Clarion. So that's the overview of the deck. Let's just jump right into the gameplay. We'll see how it performs. Yeah, should be okay. But yeah, I've been having a lot of success in regards to best of ones with this type of a list. And what I like most about it compared to other control lists is that it finishes the game really fast most of the time. Sometimes if you don't get Azor's going right away, it can be a little hard. Now, Dimir is probably our worst matchup. If he thought erasures us, we basically lose. Basically. Not necessarily, but he's probably sitting on a disinformation campaign hand, in which case we'll discard the Clarion here, because we value Justice Strike. Yep, against Doom Whisper, which is usually their go-to win con. So we'll just chuck this, and then we'll try to draw here to get a land. Perfect. Star of Extinction's also pretty good. I'm going to do this just because it's safe, and then I'll pay 2 life here and pass to confuse my opponent mostly, but also so we can possibly draw a card. That is fine. That is more than okay. So I'm going to Revitalize here. No land. Still feels bad. We're going to try to get a land and probably put Fight with Fire underneath here. That's a 3 cost, so it's not too bad. And then we'll just fire this guy since we're probably not getting a better use out of Siobhan Fire. There could be some argument for Lava Coiling there. That's fine, we have a Justice Strike. So once again, we're going to draw with this first. He has responses now to everything that we do. Cleansing Nova is expensive. Clarion, we already have a 3 under there. So I'll probably just do Star since we're not going to cast too many of those. And then we're just going to Justice Strike this bad boy while he is tapped out. Yep, that's fine. So he'll surveil until he finds another Doom Whisper, most likely. We will probably discard the Star of Extinction to Disinformation Campaign, because we're most likely going to cast a Cleansing Nova over the Star of Extinction this game since we are mana starved. Very unfortunate. I think that 24 lands is correct, but I might need to crunch some math. Oof. That hurts. Yeah, so we just discard that. That hurts a lot, man. We just cast it again. He probably has another dispersal, which is gonna suck, but this is just part of the game, right? Is him having cards that we dislike. Yep. Another Ooh. That hurts. He's gonna take Immortal Sun for sure. Yep. So we still have one more of those. It wasn't like we were gonna cast it right away, but still hurts, especially if he's sitting on another dispersal. Okay, so that's a land. We can put Cleansing Nova underneath that. I think Lava Coil's fine. And then we just pass. So Disinformation Campaign is going to take either Fight with Fire or both of our cards probably, so we don't have to think too hard here. This game's probably just lost, honestly. This is one of our worst matchups. Yep. So we are just on Azor's Gateway right now, which is really terrifying if he has another discovery thingy. Yep. So we just do this, play another land, and pass. Now we have what? 1, 2, and a 3 there. That's pretty hard to deal with. Not really sure if we have any responses to him. We already have a 3 underneath there. Oh, like this is, yeah, I'm just gonna scoop this one up, guys. It's, I guess I get blindsided by the dispersal there. Forgot that they usually mainboard like 2 or 3 of those. And it's just a really tough matchup. The hand disruption and everything else just really hurts us there. So we'll just move on to the next game and try to make up for that. Mainly what we're looking to fight are aggro decks. Primarily, that's what we want to farm. The other control lists, the outliers, they're going to be a little more difficult. Like with a proper sideboard, we could possibly do well, but the problem with the mirror especially is just the hand disruption's so hard to deal with again. Yikes, I think this is like it might be self-dredge. So here we could do Azores or Treasure Map. We could also resolve Dawn of Hope. I don't think he runs counter spells. I think I want Treasure Map up so we can control our draws more consistently. Secure the land drops, basically. We need to get to like 5 or 6 mana. Okay. It looks like maybe it's Turbo Surveil then. Justice Strike's probably really good right here. Now he is tapped out, so it's a pretty decent time to drop down Dawn of Hope, I think. Just so he doesn't Thought Erasure it from our hand. It's one of our win cons, so it's pretty important for it to hit the field. Best move by him right now is like Disinformation Campaign. Would be rough. That's pretty rough, but we have the response to it, right? Oh yeah. So we're not even gonna scry there. We're just gonna safely Clarion my Wayward Son here and just clear that up. And that should be the game. That should at least help us a lot. We did miss a scry off of this, and it's possible that we would have drawn a land, but I really needed to snag that up before he started to get super good value off of my cards. And that hurts a little, but it'll be okay. He'll probably take Gateway because it's a really good card. He could also take Shiva on Fire because it takes the least amount of commitment, and Justice Strike doesn't hit his current guy. So he's probably, it's one of these two. Okay, so he took Banefire, interesting. I guess he's afraid of Banefire. Mountain's fine, we'll take the land drop here. So he knows that we drew into the land. which is fine. I think that I just fire this guy up, which he predicted. And then we'll Azor's Gateway so we can't get that out of our hand. Do this so we can scry before we draw to control our hand. And yep, so here we go. Now we could be aggressive here, or we could be safe. Safe, aggressive. Because we could just Banefire his face for a lot. I think I'm going to be safe. They're probably both going to get discarded before we can really utilize either. But Cleansing Nova is not very good right now. We basically just need like a land and to keep our hand count low. Draw. So there's our land. We can Gateway here. Draw. Clarion's okay. 3 mana is a little rare in the deck, so I'm just going to do that and pass the turn. So if he has another Disinformation Campaign or a 2 mana Surveil, we lose this card, which is fine. I don't know what he's like his plan is. I think it's just like super fast like aggro, I guess. Good Dimir creatures. Arc is very good. We already have the City's Blessing, so that's like infinite value. I can draw before I Azor's Gateway here. We could also do this on our opponent's turn, but you know, I think we'll be okay. So here, just draw. I think I played a land already this turn, so now we can just throw Sacred Foundry under there and call it good. He's probably going to Radical Idea end of turn, I imagine. It's either that or he's holding up a Sinister Sab, and he is trying to wait for us to counter so he can bounce this and get rid of our hand, basically. Like, fortunately for us, our only castable spell requires a target from him. He has to provide us a target. Like that, but it's not a very good target for us, right? So... there we go. I think that I just produce a token here. And then... take my turn. So here we have a 2 and a 3. Go ahead and tap 1, draw. We can put the 2 underneath it or the 2 underneath it. I kind of like this. Land, draw, and that's fine. This is a good discard target for his Disinformation. And I think I just swing in here, because if he blocks, it's fine. I'm just gonna pay 2 mana and draw a card from Dawn of Hope, either way. Yeah, he like loses nothing from this, but he does have Sinister Sab up. I don't really want to give him interactions with that, because that pretty much loses our hand. Well, not necessarily all the way, but I guess I can just do this anyway. And if he Sinister Sabs, at least we get it out of his hand. Yep, so that's good. Now that loses us a whole mountain from the Disinformation Campaign. The thing that I don't like about that is that he does get to draw a card from it, right? When he draws first turn, plus draws from Disinformation Campaign, plus he bounces it again with Sprite. So I guess I maybe should have let that go. You can also Thought Erasure us. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna take away our other land as well, which is okay. It's mainly what I'm concerned about is him getting to Surveil with this dude and pitching cards that he doesn't need and getting this to draw another card. He's gonna leave open Sinister Sabotage again, which is kind of annoying. So we have a 2, 0, and a 3. So we don't really gain a lot from doing this, but I'll go ahead and sack this boy to draw. So that's a 2. And it's a 2 mana cost that answers his creature. So I'm going to try it. He lets it go. Cool. So that makes my turn a lot easier, because now I can... Ooh, I should have... I mean, I guess we can just keep the cliff top to discard to that. Yeah, That's good, actually. Not a misplay for not playing the land, never punished. So enjoy your land grab there, friendo. Now here, 3, 4, so I can make a dude with this. And then I can use Azores to filter. We'll just filter out the land. I think we don't gain anything from using these. So we just filter out a land. So no responses from our opponent. So we get to draw for 2 mana, which is just cheaper than our other card. Now we can flip Azores right now. No, we can't. No, we can't. Never mind. So he has enough for a counter, it looks like. I think that I'm just going to tap 1, draw, and put a mountain underneath there, I think. We could use the draw, but I feel like we have to fight through counter spells soon, / hand disruption, so I'm just going to pass here. Make another token and start pressuring with 2 damage each turn, which will eventually matter. So yeah, just make another dude, draw. Okay, so Star of Extinction probably baits him a little bit. And like I said, we're just going to keep pressuring hand-wise, forcing him to answer us, basically. And Justice Strike. So that makes use of a otherwise dead card, right? Now, Shiv on Fire is also, like, acceptable here. Yeah, we'll let that happen. Why we're doing that is because his choice might change after, like, surveilling or whatnot, might change based on if we kill this guy or not. So now we can just Justice Strike again. And yeah, this seems a little silly, but we want that guy off the board so he doesn't get extra value off Disinformation Campaign. And then we can also draw and then shove Star of Extinction underneath here. And then keep this as discard fodder for Disinformation Campaign. And then we have our 1 cost, and then we're online, basically. That's fine. That's fine. You can use a card on that. And yep, this is what being ahead feels like against the Disinformation Campaign. But the issue is... that's fine. Fine, that doesn't matter. He's just trying to use his mana. He's desperate at this point. So I think we're online with this. 7, 3, 0, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So our 5th one will be Shiv on Fire. So bam, we get to flip it. He is tapped out, so we can pay 2 to draw here if we wanted to. Like, we pretty much have infinite mana now, so if we get a Banefire or anything like that, we pretty much have it on lockdown. So I can draw a card from Arch. I'm gonna go ahead and scry for 1 here. Reason being is because we could possibly see a Banefire, which would end the game. So here we probably want white mana, so we'll just go white, and we'll drop the Immortal Sun. And then we'll just make a bunch of dudes here. And that's pretty intimidating, I think, for him. This is one of the deck's many win cons in regards to versatility. And there we go. So now we have 6 2/2s, and he has to have a Ritual of Soot. Yep, and he's done. So that's usually what happens, is the opponent eventually taps out thinking that we don't have anything, and then we just slam something ridiculous on the board and start going. But that was sort of a poor draw from our opponent. I feel like he didn't have the tools that he needed to keep his engine going, and we sort of interrupted him there with the Clarion. So we move on to the next game, and hopefully we fight like mono red, so the deck can kind of be showcased against that. It's one of our better matchups, I feel. So I like having 2 copies of Immortal Sun because it's such a strong card. And if our opponent happens to make us chuck it from hand early game, we at least have a backup. Originally, I had thought about including the 4 mana drop guy that grabs back an artifact when he comes into play. For one, it's a 4 mana cost, so it's good for gateway since we don't have a lot of procs for that converted mana cost. So I was thinking about that, but it just seems so clunky. We're against control, which is pretty bad for us, honestly. Like, if this is Jeskai, we pretty much can just scoop it up. Like, game 1 is pretty weak. Game 2, it's not the worst, honestly, especially if we can sneak in, like, an Immortal Sun under their radar. And having resolved the treasure map underneath a Syncopate feels pretty good, too. Because a lot of blue-red will run those off, ooh, so it's Grixis with Disinformation Campaign, interesting. Star of Extinction's pretty good, and it's a 7 cost. I think I'm just gonna chuck a land here, and hope that we can curve out with lands. Yep, okay, so that's fine. And we draw, and here we're just going to hold up Revitalize and put a stop on the upkeep so we can control our draws. Thought Erasure kills us. Pretty much just ends our life at this point. Enigma Drake is more than okay. We have so many answers to Drakes in the list. We have Lava Coils, we have Justice Strikes. Justice Strike obviously doesn't do anything yet, but we'll take the land drop, that's fine. Drawing, and we can probably just fight with fire this guy, just to keep pressure off of us. And we got to be proactive in removing his guys and making him feel pressured, like he has to respect what we're doing in a way. Yep, that's fine. Just get rid of that. Now we get to flip this. Maybe that was a ooh. Ooh, that's pretty good. Our one of bindings here, coming down like a boss. So we'll just grab that up. I could have done Disinformation Campaign as well, that would have been viable. But I feel like taking away Bolas is pretty strong, especially if he has a backup in hand. He has to have like a Dispersal now in order to answer us. And it looks like he might have missed a land drop. Nope, he hit it. Okay, Sulfur Falls again. So slow land, and now it's our turn. And we get to draw. Okay, so land. Oh, I almost skipped my turn there. That would have been good. So I think we just end here. We could possibly treasure map into something else. I guess that I could do that. I just don't like doing this a lot of the time because I guess our opponent might want to do something. Hello? It's my connection too right now is a little unstable. It looks like he's hovering over his cards like he wants to do something. It's probably just him waiting on me actually because of my connection. It's why I'm not streaming this live right now and doing a recording at the same time. That's fine. So we'll just pass here. And our opponent, okay, that's fine. That's good. That's just, this is tech versus Carnage Tyrant is what this is. The Flash Death Touch can answer a lot of pesky things. The main one, though, being Carnage Tyrant. It's just super nice to be able to flash that in and block. So here, we're just going to Revitalize. Might Sinister Sab this just for a Disinformation Campaign proc. That's an extremely good draw for us. So that's the City's Blessing. Now we can just pass and not care at all about what our opponent wants to do. Dispersal hurts us a lot. Okay, that is more than okay. Star of Extinction on that would have been nice prior to him, like, you know, post him being tapped out to playing Bolas or something. It would have been nice. But we'll just soak up some damage here. and try to grind out some card advantage. So end of turn, crack the treasure, draw. We want like a Shivan Fire for this to answer this, something really nice and easy. Star's not bad. Good pickup for when he drops like Niv Mizzet or something if he's doing that type of stuff. And we draw Revitalize, and we're not going to crack the thing over that. So we are going to try to proc a Sinister Sab here. I feel like he's probably... Nope, he's being really patient, or he doesn't have an answer. One of the two. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have enough to arc, so I'm just going to pass. And we'll take 2 more damage. Now, maybe it's the bad idea, like, trying to play the long game against Grixis, where they can be really grindy with Eldest Reborns and such. Not really sure. Should be okay, though. Mainly just waiting for him to, like, use his first counter so we can Immortal Sun. Maybe he might just be stuck because he can't play Bolas. What can he grab with that? He's just surveilling, I guess. He's gonna try to find something to use. Oh! That makes sense. Okay. So he is just surveilling for the sake of surveilling so he can slam Disinformation Campaign again. That's a little awkward. Like, for him, not for me. I'm, like, completely okay with it. I'm gonna go ahead and draw with Arch, I think, in response to get, like, yeah, land to pitch here. Because I value all of our cards pretty heavily, and we have enough lands at the moment. Okay, so he's got... Ooh, Search. Search is fine. Yep, okay, so we are all set. We're just gonna slam Immortal Sun, I think. That's what we do, right? I don't think I scry with this. I think I just slam Immortal Sun here. And now we have a draw engine and all of our stuff is cheap. I can also fire on this guy too. Just to clear his dude off. Yep. And yeah, that should be it. Now we have pretty much infinite mana to an extent. All of our spells cost 1 less, and if we ever rip into like a Dawn of Hope, we're all set. And even if he takes away our hand, it doesn't matter too much. We have enough draw power from Immortal Sun that if we resolve something like a Dawn of Hope, he just loses. Despite us not having Azor's Gateway or anything like that online yet. He needs 1 more card for Azcanta to be online. That's not very exciting, so I want to put an upkeep stop there. So we can scry before we draw. Try to control like some of our anti-aggro tech, like the fires and whatnot. Try to dig for something more important. That was the laundry. I've got to get that after this match, most likely. Alright. Revitalize is good. Draw a card from this as well. Ooh, actually this is during our turn. This isn't during the end of his turn. So that was kind of a misplay, huh? That was like before we even drew for our turn. Wow. That was me just on autopilot. I don't know what happened there. I guess we just pass though and let him do whatever he wants. Whoops. I really thought that was the end of his turn for some reason. Wow. Amazing. So just waiting on him. Explosion for 3 is fine. He just wants to draw cards at this point. He knows that the 3 damage isn't that much. If he's running something like that, he's probably playing Niv. My roommate just grabbed the laundry, so I can check that off for things to do. Yep, so it looks like he's just kind of desperate for cards at this point. I do an upkeep here for treasure map again. I mean, like, we have Banefire, and if he's expecting to carry himself on counter spells like this, then we're in pretty good shape, honestly, with the bindings, especially on the Bolas if he's not running something like Dispersal. Dispersal doesn't even snag bindings anymore, so we don't have to worry about that. He's also over cards. He also did the tap out city. No, that's my bindings. You can't fucking have that. Yeah. No. That's right, you can't play Bolas. He just chucked his Bolas in the trash, dude. Feels bad, man. Cleansing Nova isn't bad. I don't think we'll really need it, though. So we'll just pitch it to the bottom. Right now, we're looking for, like, second Banefire or Fight with Fire. Okay, so main phase. So here we're just going to try to resolve Gateway. If he lets Gateway go, he's probably going to sab it, though. He's desperate. He's like, he's wanting to slam that counter on the table for so long. We've just been like denying him plays just because we've been doing interactions with cards that you can't directly counter. Yep, so yep, there's the counter spell. So he gets to Surveil. Disinformation Campaign doesn't matter right now. I'm just gonna slam my Dawn of Hope on the table and that should be game. I don't think he can really do much from this point onward. So now let's play the card that we really wanted to play. And there's nothing else I really want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, we could Fight with Fire for 10, I guess. Since he's tapped out. And then we just Banefire next turn, right? For game. I guess Dawn of Hope was a little unnecessary. If he thought he erasures us, we die. Like, we don't die, but our game plan gets shut down and we lose a turn that we could have produced tokens with, but... I mean, 10 damage is 10 damage. It's pretty good. It's half his life, and unless he has Moment of Cravings that he hasn't pitched, we should be good. Like, probably what's going to happen is he's going to get Thought Erasure off of Azcanta here. Like, we just had a really good game with that bindings. I think that's a one of bindings. Like, that's all we have in the deck for bindings. It's usually what one of means. So hopefully things continue to go our way and we can just squeak by. Grixis is not an easy matchup for us by any means. Especially the Disinformation Campaign version, but I feel like that's just not the way to run Grixis right now anyway, but that's like another subject. He's tapping out. That's good game. I mean, like, he had to gain life, right? He had to gain life or Thought Erasure me. So that's just it. The Immortal Pog just carrying us here. Super nice. Yep. Banefire for 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have enough to Banefire for 10. Yeah, he's got to discard stuff. He's just checking the field to see what might be relevant in his hand for later turns. He doesn't realize, yeah, we could just Fight with Fire here. There we go. Not gonna reveal the Banefire tech, I guess. Even though he knows we probably run it in that type of a deck. Alright, so 2-1, not bad. Just moving along. But yeah, it's doing okay. I've ran this the last few streams that I've done. And so like a version of this, and it's gotten like at least I'd say 5 or 6 7-win best of ones, and I'm just tuning it right now in best of ones. A lot of people ask why I do best of ones versus best of threes, and just you know, gold wise it's just a lot easier to accept the losses on best of ones, and I know that's not the greatest reason. Okay, so we finally got red. I need white mana eventually. We have 2 Clarions, so we're like all set if, yeah, we are so set if we can just get there. on white mana. Now here we could do treasure map, but I feel like that would be the greedy play. This is also really, really good against Phoenix, right? Like super duper good. But we just have to hope that he doesn't have Phoenix, or that we draw one of our other 2 copies of Lava Coil, because Steamkin just does so much damage early game. You've got to respect him. But yeah, in regards to the best 2 out of 3 argument and whatnot, that's not really even an argument. It's just a like preferred way to. This is also really good. This gets us white mana faster though, if anything. So I'm going to put an upkeep here and a stopper here. Priority wise, it will ask me if I want to do anything end of turn, but I like to put this up here as a reminder so I don't forget. So here we're just looking for white mana. That's super good. Okay, so we're not going to use 3 mana unless we can get the white mana anyway. Perfect. See, and that's why I love Treasure Map. It's such a cool card. It just allows you to do so much early game in regards to keeping hands. So there we go, clear that out. Now, worst thing is a Phoenix. We can't deal with a Phoenix, so don't drop Phoenix. Please don't drop Frenzy either. Oof. Well, Frenzy we can at least Cleansing Nova after we pop this. Hopefully seeing a land here. Land would be great, just so we don't have to pop all but 1. Okay, cool. So that saves us some mana. So we just, actually, you know, we just do this, don't we? This is what we do. We just don't care about this anyway. 3, and then we go like this and this. And then we drop Gateway, right? Just to get that down there. And hopefully he doesn't have a Flame the Keld or another Frenzy. But yeah, 2 out of 3 argument. Jeez. 2 out of 3 debate, really. It just comes down to me not knowing what I want for my sideboard either. Like, I'm not sure exactly what I need. We could hurt him by Star of Extinctioning here, but I feel like this is the better play, and the safer play is just to handle things one-on-one here. And then do Revitalize, gain some life, and just stabilize really hard. But I also want to figure out what I want to do with the sideboard, like what matchups we're going to struggle against. Obviously, control, like Jeskai, is going to be an issue. I'm thinking like Inescapable Blazes, that type of a thing to combat the oof. So we have another Azores, which is pretty cool. That's a 2 mana cost, so we'll have 2, 7, and 1. 2, 7, and 0, rather. But yeah, the 2 out of 3 is really interesting to me, and I love it. Because I used to do a lot of FNM and whatnot. So not playing best 2 out of 3 also bothers me, as much as it bothers some people watching me do not 2 out of 3, like the best of ones. But I just don't like losing gold for no reason while I'm still figuring out the main board for the deck, you know? I feel like there's a lot to expand upon with this deck. And I'm just gonna adjust the strike this. Make it so he can't get a dude to stick. So, but yeah, I wanna tweak the main board a lot more before moving along here. So we already have a land. I feel like this is probably our best bet, even though it's one of our only answers to Frenzy. Right now it's probably dropping me. There we go, okay. So arguments for keeping this in my hand for next turn on this could be made. But I think I'm gonna I'm gonna put Clarion or something else under this. Like, one of these 2 cards is going under here next turn. So having the extra mana for a Fight with Fire to start killing him would be great. Be fantastic. So hopefully Dawn of Hope off this draw. Shivan Fire also works. Lets us keep both of these, which is pretty cool. Because I don't think I have a 1 cost under there. So now we have infinite mana, basically. Which means we could Fight with Fire him. Probably worth it, honestly. Just to scare him a little. Let him know that he's on a clock. And then we have a Clarion for when he extends. He's probably just holding a bunch of burn in hand, wondering if we are going to run creatures, or maybe he just has dragons or something. Like maybe he's top end. Yeah, he has burn. So we just need to rip into another fight with fire. Life gain. Banefire works. Cool. So we can Banefire for 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11 minus 1. So it'd be 19. I believe. I'm not very good at quick math, so... Yep, exactly. Nice. So there we go. There's the red matchup that I was talking about. It's pretty nice. Just super easy with 4 sweepers usually, and just that little bit of spot life gain, and when Azor flips, it's pretty much GG as long as we have some type of a dump for the mana. Usually Dawn of Hope just make like 7 dudes in one turn. It's just, and then they produce more life, so you can gain more dudes the next turn. Red usually just scoops as soon as you make your first 4 dudes. They're like, oh, I see the combo, and they'll just pick up their cards, because that happens in digital magic, you know, actual scooping. Alright, so this looks pretty decent. We've got a treasure map. Usually when you look at your opening hand here, you want to get a treasure map or an Azor's, and then 2 mana, preferably 1 white and 1 red source, or like, you know, the hybrid. But oops, I turned on my emotes. I'm going to turn those off before I get tilted. And this is either green-white or mono-white weenie. So either way, our plan doesn't really change much. We just control the tokens, control the dudes, and go hard. Best hand for him here is if he's green-white to drop the legendary 2/2 dude. Oh, no, it might be vampires, actually. Yep, it's vampires. So we just Clarion here. I don't even think I scry with treasure map here. I just don't want this to get out of hand. We could wait 1 moment, I guess. We could drop another treasure map and scry with one of them. I'm a little worried about the burst damage, or him being able to do something weird that I'm just forgetting about right now. But we'll let him extend just a little bit more. Like, I don't think that he has hasters, so he can't really flip this, which is what I'm worried about. So he's hovering over my cards because he doesn't know what's up yet. He's like, treasure map, that looks cool. I wish I had a treasure map. That's probably his exact thoughts. Okay, perfect. So this is the perfect Clarion. So we just do this. This is decent, but we want land drops, even though we're about to take a beating here. Okay, so I'm not going to take the chance on the scry here. There's a possibility that I don't draw land, like right there. Now, the next card, arguments being made for the next card could have been a land, and we'll see soon, if I remember to check. Yep, and he's snap looking at my graveyard like, whoa, what in the world just happened to me? Where did my dudes go? So that's a little worrisome. That does flip Legion's Landing, which is really annoying. I think I'm just gonna draw. Yes, nice. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna Clarion this as well. Bam. Just to keep him off this Legion's Landing here. Arguments could be made for not doing that and holding off for more value. Cleansing Nova's good. We do have a Star of Extinction in hand, though. I guess maybe I shouldn't worry about this flipping if I have Star of Extinction. I'm being silly. I could have just had a much more valuable Clarion, for sure. That's okay. Brings us closer to Banefire or Fight with Fire lethal. That's a little worrisome. Just because we don't have much interaction with that. Save a Cleansing Nova, which we don't really want to pop in our current circumstances. So we're gonna draw. I might just play the Immortal Pog here. I think it would be a really good tempo play. Just because it gives us 2 cards per turn, which is just it's insane in MTG. Like, magic wise, like, it's like, I feel like in most TCGs, card advantage is really good. But with Magic, when you have so much interaction with your opponent, it's insane. So City's Blessing doesn't do anything threatening to us, really. It just gives him vigilance, which doesn't matter at the moment. So 3/6. We could Starve Extinction this, but Clarion still clears it. I still want to wait for this to flip. So I am just gonna scry here with my mana before we draw. I can actually Starve Extinction now without having done that because of Immortal Sun's mana reduction. So we get to draw 2 here. This game's pretty much ours for the most part, as long as I don't punt really hard or disconnect or something. That's also a possibility. So we just clear the board. Arguments to draw a card here are pretty strong. I'm gonna do that. And yeah, we'll just play the land, because why not? We don't have to, we're not worried about our opponent playing Disinformation Campaign or anything like the last 5 games that we've played tonight. Ooh. My boy here is out of range for Siobhan or Lightning Coil. I might just Starve Extinction that, honestly. I might just blow up his land. Pre-flip. I don't really need the land anymore. We're probably going to draw a land off of 2 cards anyway, so... Ooh, Dawn of Hope is pretty good. So... this guy is not that threatening right now. I think I'm just going to drop Dawn of Hope and eventually double block on him, I think. We're going to have a lot of mana coming up on the following turns with Treasure Map and whatnot. Wish that Immortal Sun's reduction applied. Yeah, okay. Lets him draw 2. Brings him closer to Bane Fire damage, Kappa. Yep. Alright. I'm just gonna make a dude here. Even though I might end up cleansing Novaing anyway. Upkeep, we already have that toggled, so we're good. Lava Coil's decent, but we don't really need another one. We could double Lava Coil a dude, but that doesn't seem very efficient. Another Immortal Pog. We can put that under an Azor's Gateway if we ever draw one. So yeah, I think that I'm still gonna swing in with this dude. I don't think he blocks it. If he's an intelligent player, like straight up, like if he's experienced, I should say, not intelligent. So yeah, because he knows that, the reason why I say that is because if he knows I have direct damage, like a Lava Coil, for example, then it's really, really bad to block, because it just gives your opponent, now he feels bad for not blocking. But I mean, that's just the nature of the game. So you have to guess correctly. And he did guess correctly, because if he had blocked, I could have just responded. So we can't Shiv and Fire that. I was about to, and then I was like, I'll only deal 2 damage. Because Radiant Dawn's OP. What's this? Ooh, oops. Oops. You could have spent that to make him a little beefier. Oh. Ah. See. So he had the play anyway. So yeah, at this rate, I just Starve Extinction, I think, and then he should scoop after that. Should be game 1. Ooh, bindings. Actually, we do have interaction with this. That's cool. I could also bind his legions if I'm worried about it. But yeah, I think here the simple play is just to blow this up. Because it looks cool, right? So we just blow that up. And that should be the Scooperoni from him. I'll also just gain some life here. Put myself a little bit more out of range. We'll just bind this up. That should starve him of all hope. That guy's pretty good. But I do have the lava coil for him since he's not buffed anymore. I also have Justice Strike, like... We just do that. Arguments could be made to fight with fire this turn in case I top deck another fight with fire, but I want to make a bunch of dudes with Dawn of Hope first. And then I can Justice Strike this guy. This guy must be upset. Because we're just answering everything that he's tossing onto the board at this point. Alright, and I think we just make dudes with the rest of the mana, and then if we swing next turn, we should be able to fight with fire him for lethal, I think, right? Yeah, for sure. Unless he has to settle the wreckage. If he has settle, actually, do we have enough mana to pog fight him twice? I don't know. I don't even think we need 2 men. I think that's game. I don't know why he hasn't conceded, like... You have to ask yourself, like, what's up? When people just stay in it. I guess they want to win, though, so it's... Or they want to see the rest of the deck. That's also a possibility. They just want to see what other pieces I have for my combo. They're interested in the mechanics behind things. And I can respect that. So we're at 4-1 so far. So we've already reached the goal, which is just to go 50% at least, or higher. Getting back our gold plus cards is pretty much where we want to be. And we have found our opponent. So hopefully another aggro archetype. I mean, we do decent against Golgari too, which isn't really like aggro. It's considered mid-range, I believe. This is a skeptical, very, very skeptical keep. We don't have an engine. This is our only 2-drop. If we had a Revitalize instead of Dawn of Hope or a Revitalize instead of Justice, I would probably like snap keep it, but this is definitely very, very sketchy. We have to draw extremely well. We are against red and we have all of our good tools. There's our treasure map. Lo and behold, we did not get punished that hard, because this at least gives us hope in regards to finding a red source. So we take a grand total of 3 there. We definitely scry here searching for the red mana. That's not red mana. It requires red mana, but that's not what we're after. And that hurts, that stings. It stings. But depending on what our opponent does here. Oof. Okay, so we kind of just need to draw into the red mana at this point. This might be death, guys. This might be, it might be all over. Yikes, at least that's like, it is damage on us, but it's better than a hasted dude, I guess. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 3. We're at 3, really? Is that really what we're at? 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're at 3. Oh geez, oh, he has the Wizard's Lightning, we're just dead. Okay. So that was a very, very risky keep. Normally we do better than that against red. You saw the other red game, right? If you've been watching, so. Just to really ballsy keep, because we could have mulled to find something like a Siobhan Fire, Mountain, Clifftop, Retreat hand or something, and like no matter what other cards we had in our hand, we would have been able to answer something on that board state. But we actually did nothing for a few turns. We played Treasure Map and Scryed, and then watched as our opponent laughed in our face with his 11 damage swing out at the end there. It was very, very good. Very good keep. But we'll see what we're up against here soon. Merfolks actually go pretty easy. See, like the archetype for best of one is like Merfolks are pretty popular. Mono blue's there. Mono blue we're like 50-50 on. It's not great, but it's not unfavorable. Just because we have so many things to contest them with, it's just like first turn Siobhan Fire, any responses, and if they have the dive down, you know, next turn Lava Coil your dude, or Fight with Fire, or another Siobhan Fire, like Clarion, like we have so many things to just ask them every turn. And it's just really, really good in that regard. It's almost like we're sort of playing mono red because we have so many instances for early game. Not a lot. It's like three fires, 3 coils. So this is unfavorable for us. Not really digging the thought erasure coming out of our face here. Yep, so he's gonna take probably Bindings or Dawn of Hope. Doesn't make sense to take a Treasure Map since we are gonna cast it anyway. Oh, I mean, alright. So, I think we need land drops, so unfortunately we have to play this. If he has Hostage Taker main board, it's going to be hard for us to combat. Banefire is extremely good, but we just don't need it right now. We need land. So if he has a Syncopate, we get hosed. If not, whew, nice. That's so good. So we got both. We have an engine on board. Oh, I didn't get to hit that. I wanted to scry that away. We'll try to revitalize main phase here. He's probably gonna let this go. He should. He might counter it though. So no land, unfortunately. So even had we scryed, we wouldn't have gotten a land, possibly. Missing a land drop against control is kind of bad, but now we have more to discard to fodder. He didn't chemisters either, which is extremely good for us. We'll scry here, put the upkeep stop. Awesome, we just want land, so that's good. So we don't need that upkeep stopper anymore. We basically don't have to do anything against this opponent for a really long time. We can start producing tokens soon. Tokens just win us the game over the long haul because we can just pay 2. We want that card, but not right now. Like, it's good against Doom Whisper and such. And we can also revitalize here. And see, we're doing stuff and our opponent's just kind of sitting there. Okay, so Star is a good backup to have. Decline. And here we probably want to crack the map so that we can draw into a land, potentially. Because we have enough fodder to discard to Disinformation Campaign, and that's kind of an okay draw. Like, Fight with Fire plus Siobhan answers Doom Whisper, which he still has to tap out for. Well, not completely, but even if he drops a land, he only has like a Syncopate possibly. So Drown Catacomb here. He might just be sitting on heavy creature removal, so he's been waiting for us to do this so he can Moment of Craving before we draw, potentially. Azor's is very nice, but we don't need it right this second. Like, we do need it, but it's just gonna get countered, right? So, the Moment of Craving. Oh, Cast Down, that's respectable, I guess. So if we use Azores, he can potentially counter us. We have to get the counter spells out of his hand one day anyway. We will have to discard no matter what here. So maybe we just try to cast this. He has a counter spell, which is fine. You have to counter this. And that means like we might be able to resolve the Immortal Pog when we draw it. So still good for us, honestly. And you got rid of a land there, which is unfavorable for us. 3, 6, 7. So I'll just end turn here and draw at the end of his turn. We don't have the creature. Creature probably gets removed anyway. But we do need to pressure with that eventually. So we would not have gotten a land last turn, and that is the best land that we can draw. So pretty good for us. I am probably going to get rid of a Clarion here, because we just don't need it. It clears out our own dudes. It's pretty obvious that our opponent doesn't run many low creatures, and if they do, it's something like Thief of Sanity. We can just Justice Strike it anyway. Just gotta put my foot in my mouth real quick. Alright, so Lazav, he doesn't have any creatures to like really mimic right now, so he's really not a concern. He keeps it on top, so he's just a dude. So I'm gonna kick Shivan here, just to contest it on his turn. He's probably gonna let it go. He might counter though. Okay, so he lets it go, which is cool for us. Dawn of Hope's good to have a backup of. I don't think he really has any interaction with us anyway, so... arguments for drawing here for a land are okay. 3/6. I'd probably just make a dude, honestly. Probably just make a dude and see what's up. He did Surveil to the top there, so I'm a little worried. He probably just has a Doom Whisperer, which we just dumpster anyway. Like, even if he counters us, we dumpster it. Making a dude. Any responses? Nope, no responses. Cool. So we would have gotten a land, which is cool. But now we have the City's Blessing, so we can tap 5 to draw. Okay, yep, that's fine. See, he's just set up for anti-aggro as well. Which is fine for us. Yep, and we just keep swinging in. Yeah, it's finally gonna hit you. Yes. And this is when we start grinding them out, basically. Yep. And this is, like, we just filter out useless cards faster than he is, right? Like, even with this bit of surveilling he's done. Doesn't really matter too much to us. Oh no, it's a Ravenous Chalupa Cobra. Most fearsome of beasts. We just make a dude here. And we might as well try to use some mana, right? Might as well Justice Strike that dude. Okay. And now, I think what I'll do is I'll swing in, and if he kills my dude... Okay, so he's gonna kill my dude. So this is gonna force him to counter, basically. This next move. So we just fight with fire. Oh, I guess we can only do this for one time. So that's 10 damage. He has to counter. He has to have a Sinister Sab. He takes it. He takes it like a fucking champ. Okay, so now he's afraid to tap out, which is good for us. and we can simply pass it back to him. I think that he still has a counter spell, but he wants to wait for the lethal one, which is kind of a mistake because Banefire is a thing, right? Cannot be countered. 3, 6, 7, 8, so we can Banefire for 7 right now. We'd still need to squeak in 2 damage, which I hope to get through tokens, and to possibly top deck the other dude bro there. So we get to make 2 tokens now, and he can't soot us because it's sorcery speed, right? And he can't Chalupa Cobra us. And there's our last little bit we need for... Okay, so he's just done with the game. Yep. Like that's what we're supposed to do, though. We're supposed to just grind things out in regards to Dawn of Hope, and with stuff like Immortal Pog, the Immortal Sun that just lets us draw cards each turn. It's just, we just grind out that advantage with stuff that resolves. Our weak point, our weakest link right now is Cleansing Nova. And I feel like if we want to deal with Cleansing Nova, we either have to have some recursion in the graveyard, or make Cleansing Nova a completely dead card in the sideboard. Like, we just don't have any interaction with it, basically. The problem with that is we rely on Azors and Treasure Map to cycle, basically. So we'd have to replace those things with other cards that can cycle. And that can be really stressful because if we go to sideboard, we basically sideboard in like Inescapable Blazes, more Banefires for control, stuff like that. And then we hope that our opponent keeps in Cleansing Novas and we can somehow sideboard away from that strategy. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think he's gonna History of Benelia here. It's pretty projected. Ooh, Benelish is spicy. In response to Benelish, I think I will shoot this guy before he gets buffed by this guy. And then we take 2 damage here, which is more than acceptable. But yeah, it's like, it's just trying to solve the equation of how do we make Cleansing Nova useless. And it's been a little bit of a hard formula to solve. So I could fight with Fire this, but if he has like Lyras and stuff, I don't really want to get hosed by that. I guess I'll just do it preemptively, so all he's left with is like a 1/1 on board. It's a little bit harder for him to pressure me with a 1/1 starting off. Yep, that's fine. We can Lava Coil those boys if we really need to, but eventually we just Dawn of Hope and grind it out. Yep. Or Clarion, and then like we still take out 1 dude. So we've got our land already. I kind of want to keep Revitalize in hand though, so I'm just going to put another land underneath that. And we could Cleansing Nova here, but I kind of want to wait a second. If he has Benelish, we kind of eat a dick, basically. He has another one. But then we get to come back with like more damage, so it's kind of okay. It just depends on what his top end is here. If he runs top end, that's extremely worrisome. I'm gonna draw a card here. See if we can answer this. Nope, we can't answer it, so that's unfortunate. Star of Extinction's decent, but... Oh no, I needed Star of Extinction. No, come back. Please, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, please come back. He can grind us out now. I should have kept Star, so I could have blown up his custom land here, his special land. We have another Star in deck, and we might be able to flip that anyway now. Depends on if he runs bindings or not. I'm hoping he does that ooh. Okay. So that's pretty awful for us, honestly. That is not the turn of events that we wanted at all. Very unfavorable. Very bad. We do have Dawn of Hope. So we can make this at least slightly favorable to us by making a dude bro and blocking up on his witness. Yep, so he gets another 1/1, which is fine. This just makes our cleansing nova more favorable, basically, is what we're trying to do here. And we just pass, and we make another dude. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't quite have the city's blessing on this proc. If he has the ascension card that gives him +2/+2, we die. That's just what happens. And if the run ends here, yeah, I'd be okay with it, honestly. It'd be alright. Make a dude here, block this guy, and then we just cleansing nova and hope for the best, I guess. We also get to pay 2 here to draw, which is pretty vital right now since we're limited on our resources. He's also like almost all in on the board here. Dawn of Hope is useless unless he convokes and takes away our Dawn of Hope again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can almost fight with fire, which is good. We'll probably need to do that at some point, but right now we're just going to blow up all of the creatures. And he makes 1 token here, which we can then not block with our Dawn of Hope token because we do not have enough mana to support that at this current time. So if he was good and he was holding back resources, like holding back a dude or 2, yeah, that's terrifying. Well, I mean, we just chump it each turn, I guess. It's just slightly unfavorable, especially if he has, well, if he has removal for our enchantment, then we simply, ooh, boy, okay. That's dumb. 4. Okay, so we top deck the land, which means we can blow up everything but, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I want to do 4 here, minus on this. 2, 2, 4, and 2. Perfect. And he'll pay 2 life, of course, to save his other dude. Yep. He'll pay 4 life, so we actually do 4 instead of more to his face, right? So instead of 2 more. Well, it just works out in our favor. He cannot procure another guy with his land. He doesn't have the mana for it yet. So we take 5. We take 4. My bad, I'm bad at math. And that's not good. Okay, cool. So Shiv on fire at least 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. So we can at least Shiv on fire here and deal some damage to this dude. And we can make 2 tokens, so a token for the dude that he procures with his land and the Vanguard. And with this equation, we should be able to last for another turn. And he has to pay 4 life each turn. No, he doesn't, never mind, not until we get the Immortal Pog out. I don't know how we come back from this. We have to bindings, I guess, on the Vanguard. That's the only way, I think. If only we had gotten that gateway online. Oof. I think that's gonna be it, man. You can also make a dude with that. Oh my gosh. We are just the fucking residents of Hose Town here. We're getting so hosed. Like, we're still alive, but not by much. We need like a Star of Extinction top deck, but I don't think I can get it because I put one on the bottom, right? No, maybe not. Maybe that was the other game. So 1 damage goes through. We do gain some life here. So I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna pay 2 to draw here for sure. And Clarion actually does it. That's actually an amazing draw because that allows us to have a little more mana to work with as well. So 3 damage here to everything. He can pay 4 life. Yep, but he doesn't have buffed up knights, right? So that's good. We can only make 1 dude to block with though. 1, 2. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop this and then pass, and this gives us more draw power, so we should be okay. We should be okay. We made it. Yeah, you can make that, but it doesn't get buffed because it's not a knight, right? So nothing gets buffed, no knights. We're playing, like, we're getting extremely lucky here. I forgot that Clarion was even an out, so we make a dude. A Brosif. Brosif blocks up for 4 damage. That's fucking awesome. Yep. We take no damage because of lifelink. And then we can start making 2 dudes each turn again. Yep, that's pretty good. Pretty good answer to my... And we want to scry before we draw as well. No lands, please. Same thing here. If we get a land, we just bottom it. So hopefully no lands. Pogtown. Yep. So he's down to 13, so he's almost in kill range. Now the problem here is that he can still swing in for 4-5. If he has a marshal, we lose. If he has marshal or buffs for his guys, we just lose the game completely. He didn't have it though. Why didn't he do that before combat? He could have buffed the... Oh, I guess he wouldn't have been able to swing. Right. So we need another Star of Extinction, a Clarion, anything really here. The Immortal Pog is really good. Really good. But I don't see how we can tap out for it. As of right now, we can make 2 dudes to block, so block, gain 2 life, and he can't produce any more dudes. So we could stall out with the Immortal Pog. And then we could start producing 2/2s and drawing 2 cards. Actually, we might be able to, with the mana from Treasure Map, be able to produce a dude to block and cast this. Well, that's 6. We can produce 1 guy to block and then we die. So we can't quite tap out for it this turn, but next turn we can. So I think that was still worth it. Plus we can draw. I think that was okay. I think it was an okay keep. Maybe it was greedy. Maybe it was greedy. We'll find out soon. Dawn of Hope is so good. It's carrying us so hard through this game. Block and block. We do not pay 2 mana here. We just go up by 1 life. So if we can get like a Cleansing Nova or anything, we'll be like all set. Decline. We need Cleansing Nova, we need Clarion, we need like anything to make it so that we're just like blocking each of his creatures each turn and just gaining life with our lifelink. Clarion's good. It also forces his HP back down. 4, 5, 6. Produce 1. maybe 2 guys. Yeah, I think we have to Immortal Pog here. Yep, just gotta slam it on the table and pass. And now when we block up on him, he will lose dudes. He will start to lose dudes. So here's one. This is our like power play basically, is just going like this. Now we could double block, but it's a little risky. Yep, and create another one, dude. So now we just block here, block here. That's 4 lifelink. That's fine. See, eventually he can't pay for that. He will not be able to. And now we're producing 4/4s each turn. We can also Clarion, I think, and force the other dude off the table so he's not leaking damage through with this guy anymore. But I kind of want to wait until I have another, yeah, there we go, Banefire. Does that kill him? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, Banefire for 11, it's so close, man. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minus 3, we can still make 2 tokens if we do this, so let's just do this. Yep, you can pay life, that's fine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Banefire kills him if he doesn't have life gain, right? I guess that's a little risky though. Right? It's a little risky. Better just to wait, because you might be able to out life gain it, is the problem. Like with a weird instant or sorcery or something. That's fine. That does not frighten me. Oh, I guess he does get another another land though. He doesn't even swing. Okay. Just gonna make my 2/2s now. Yep, I can still make them, I just don't swing in with them, right? And then we just Banefire for maximum damage. I think he dies. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Banefire for 11. So he has to gain 3 life here or he dies. And somehow we came back from this. I don't know how, guys. I guess I could have Banefired for 12. I'm really bad at math. So, I thought the run was done. That was such a long game. That was insane. Alright. 6. We got 6. We could go all the way here. It's the final boss, guys. The final boss. Are we 6-2 or are we 7-2 for the first demo of the deck? We'll find out. Close. That's so sad. That was that guy's last game. If the record system works like that, if you're fighting people of the same record or similar records. This looks fine. We have a cantrip. We don't have an engine, which is less favorable for us, but still fine. Especially since we have 3 lands over 2. 2 lands and an engine is good. 3 lands and no engine with a little bit of cycle is fine. 3 lands with no engine or cycle is also okay, but you know, it's sort of like the tier of hands that you have to rate. So we're just waiting on our opponent to keep. Okay. Ooh, so it's against Selesnya. And we just slam Azor's Gateway down. Now this can get conclaved pretty easily. It's okay if it does though. Like if it gets conclaved, right? Then we just use Immortal Pog and that's pretty good. Ooh, March. He keeps March on top. Yeah, we draw. So I think that I want to keep up Revitalize and this, and Azor's. Now the more dudes he has, the more of a pain in the ass it becomes. With this type of a deck, he skyrockets really fast with that card. So here we're just gonna Shivan before he gets to explore. So bam, before the explore procs, and makes him a sad panda. And then he pitches that for sure. Yep, and then that he keeps that, which is bad for us. So since I know that he's going to just gimp my Azores, I'm not even going to invest in it. I'm just going to gain life here and try to go. I'll let him do that as much as he wants. Just not going to invest in Azores if he's not going to do anything with it. And I'll just pass here. Especially since he has to dedicate his dude. He might not even conclave until it's like an issue, basically. Yeah, so that's kind of bad for us. I might use it for cycle here anyway. Justice Strike is pretty good here. Kind of want to ditch the land because I think I'll... Maybe that was bad. So we'll just pass here. That was pretty bad. That was a poor pitch. I should have pitched something else, but everything else was pretty good, you know? So Justice Strike doesn't hit Shalai, but Fight with Fire does, so I'm gonna Justice Strike the Cavalier, and then possibly Clarion off the top would be awesome, or Clarion off the Azores. Whatever happens to be the case, we can do alright. Now if he just passes, that means he wants to march. He wants to march for a lot, but I don't think he'll pass up on this damage. It's like, it's too good, right? So this makes, he's thinking, oh, I'll just march. I'll just march on my way to victory here. Which is probably true. I think we punted pretty badly with the, well, I mean, March only goes for 3, so it's really not that great. He has to conclave now if he wants to. So he's just gonna do this main phase, which is like baller tier. That's like balling out of the gym hard. Here, right there. Oh, and then he can conclave in response to that. I see. You were thinking about it, weren't you? You were thinking. He wants me to invest a little bit more in this, which I will. I'll put my Dawn of Hope under there. And now we have a Cleansing Nova, which is awesome. And then it's his turn and he is just out of gas. I feel like he threw really hard there. Like he needed to commit with a conclave there or do something else. Because now he's pinched. He's in a hard spot here because if he doesn't produce creatures, then we just get to kind of laugh at him a little bit. Okay, March for 3 is fine. We've got 2 under there. I guess we just pass. It's kind of sad. Don't like passing because if he has the Loxodon, we're kind of hosed. Loxodon absolutely destroys us. Vivian. Yikes. We need a Star of Extinction now, I guess. Or like, a land. Oh, he's not blowing up Azores. That's interesting. So we definitely need a ramp. So we either need something to deal with these creatures or something to deal with Vivian. We can only pop Vivian for 4. If we pop Vivian for 4, we don't really get any lands is the problem. Double Clarion can answer the dude. I think I just have to do this to take away his guys, so we can't do extra stuff. But I think we're just dead unless we top deck our other Cleansing Nova. I think we have 3 in main board. Pretty sure. He has to -3 Viv, which is cool. It at least slows him down. He's still holding on to Conclave, which is pissing me off, but I mean, it's the good play, right? We need to somehow cast Star of Extinction on this Carnage Tyrant, even though we don't have the mana to do so. It's pretty much Cleansing Nova into him not finding another Carnage Tyrant. That's like what we're hoping for here. Land is not going to do it. The Immortal Pog does not do it. We can kill Vivian now, at least with this. Which is nice. Banefire for what, 3? Yep. And then we can produce this, which our opponent should answer with Conclave. It's our last Dawn of Hope, though, so, you know, we pretty much just need the Cleansing Nova, honestly. Yep, Conclave on Dawn, yep. Obvious play, JPEG. Smack. So we are down to 7, and our opponent has produced another card. Yeah, we just can't fight through this, right? No. So that's fine. We just couldn't quite get there. I feel like I misplayed there quite a bit with the Azor's Gateway here and there. That one land pitch that lost us momentum, I feel like it's pretty bad. But it's okay. Going 6-3 on the first iteration of the 3rd version seems pretty good. Let's see our prizes here. That's not bad. That's not bad either. It's okay. Is used in some sideboards. So yeah, just this is the version that we just ran, right? With like 2 stars, 3 cleansings, 1 bindings tech. That binding saved us sometimes. We could have used the bindings in that last matchup, maybe against Viv. It would have been too slow. But this is my other version, which used like rituals and such for more cycle. I did some changes to this. Originally it was like it was more like this, I believe, more like this with it had the 4-drop. It's a 4-drop white card here. Instant. This, I had 2 contrabands here and 1 less land, I believe. No, I had 23 lands. So I had something like this, and I was running like maybe 1 less lava coil or something. It was something like this where it was running 2 contrabands. Oh yeah, it was 2 stars. There we go. That makes more sense now. And 3 lava coils. So it was something like this, and this was the first version. And this had a few 7 wins, but I wasn't really digging on this. It was really good against red, and it was good for cycle. But it just felt dead a lot of the time because you would want to use your mana for Treasure Map, use your mana for Azor's Gateway. There's just a lot more interaction that you wanted to make a token, for example, with Dawn of Hope. Like there's a lot more that you wanted to do with your mana, rather than just pay 3 to gain 4 life and cycle. Really good against red, probably sideboard against red, honestly. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you can catch me on Twitch. I usually stream about every day, so, and my Twitch will be down below as well, the information. So thank you guys so much for chilling out, and I will see you guys next time.